Both parents died, the fetus passed through a blind orphanage, the worst start. Li Qingtai, the strongest and most skilled player in Earth's LOL, wears a blue star in a different world. This is a world where League of Legends integrates into reality, enduring humiliation for 18 years, and awakening unparalleled in the world. Li Qing will let everyone on Blue Star know what it means to open the sky with 1 foot. Li Qing will make everyone understand that killing 5 people with 1 kick is not a dream. Li Qing will teach everyone the correct usage of flashing. Li Qing will let everyone know that Xiu'er is so terrifying. Let's watch Li Qing cross the blue stars and conquer the void, stepping on the proud heroes of all humanity. Chapter 1. The Awakening of Fate. You are listening at novelfull.audio. A blind man still wants to participate in the awakening. Bah, something unknowable. Li Qing, who was blind in both eyes, was kicked into the mud with a foot. The foul-smelling and dirty sewage covered his whole body, and the intense pain in his chest made him unable to speak. Although I wanted to resist, it was ultimately reason that suppressed the impulse. I have been in this world that has merged with League of Legends for 18 years, but unfortunately, I was invaded by void creatures before I was born. My father was killed, my mother was severely injured, and the fetus was also affected by congenital blindness. No technology, medicine, or skill can cure it. My mother passed away shortly after giving birth to herself. She was born in an orphanage and has been subjected to discrimination and humiliation since childhood. This negative buff situation has made him curse the old thief more than once. The only hope that supports his survival is the League of Legends awakening ceremony at the age of 18. As long as he can merge the heroes, he will have a day to rise. If it weren't for the adult soul and mature and determined mind, he would have given up on survival long ago due to various discrimination and insults. The awakening ceremony is the only way he can change it. If one can awaken a hero who matches oneself, even if they are blind, they can live comfortably. And these few people at the school gate in front of me are my classmates, but unfortunately they are not good people. A few little brats resort to campus violence to show off their strength. If they can become stronger, they will undoubtedly die. This is the so-called way to take death. The biggest choice now is to endure and participate in the school awakening ceremony. Ha ha ha, despicable thing, we are the ones who want to awaken the top heroes. Seeing Li Qing lying silently in the puddle, Zhao Hao also lost interest. After all, bullying someone is not fun. When Zhao Hao left with a few dog legs, Li Qing stood up, took off his school uniform soaked in sewage and mud, tidied up his attire, and walked towards the campus awakening square with a cane. Classmates, 100 years ago, the void cracks opened up, countless void monsters invaded, and we humans suffered heavy casualties. It wasn't until the first awakened adult appeared that it brought me hope. Today is an annual awakening ceremony, with the assistance of Mr. Ma Baogua, the great silver powerhouse of our Hangzhou Heroes Association, in the awakening of our 9th middle school. Mr. Ma Baogua is a lightning-type warrior who integrates the hero Kennen and possesses the self-created skill of lightning 5 consecutive whips, as well as Kennen's innate ability of lightning imprint. Now, let me invite Mr. Ma Baogua to come up and speak to you in 2 words. After giving a speech, the principal gave up his seat and allowed Ma Baogua, dressed in a suit and leather shoes, to step onto the podium. Hello everyone, I am Ma Baogua, a D.level hero of the Heroes Association, ranking 11th in the D.level in Hangzhou. I am a powerful awakener, and I will start this awakening ceremony for everyone. Pull and pull. Li Qing's lips twitched, still boasting in a formulaic way and being forced to rely on formalism. It wasn't until 2 hours later that Ma Baogua stopped at the repeated signals from the principal, and then signaled the staff to lift cylindrical, nutrient-like things from one military armored vehicle after another. Starting from the 3rd year of high school, 10 people will queue up to enter each time. After preparing, Ma Baogua announced the start of the awakening ceremony. Although invisible, Li Qing could feel the atmosphere on the scene becoming tense, indicating that many people were afraid of failure. However, in just 5 minutes, all the first batch of people who entered came out. 10 people all failed to awaken. As the staff announced the results, the remaining over 200 students fell silent, and the vast square was silent. Li Qing also secretly became nervous, and indeed, as the book said, the success rate was only 5%. That is to say, only 5 out of 100 people are likely to awaken successfully. The next batch, Zhao Hao, Zhao Hua, Zhao Li. As the staff called out their names, the second group of people also lined up and walked up. Although it was far away, Li Qing could feel Zhao Hao, who used to be arrogant and domineering, trembling all over. Obviously, this awakening ceremony that concerns fate has also made this once pampered and arrogant wealthy young master tremble with fear. In just 5 minutes, all the awakening pods opened, and a powerful aura erupted from Zhao Hao's body. The staff were all blown back 2 steps and then looked at the awakening instrument. The second batch, 1 person successfully awakened. Ha ha ha, I succeeded. From now on, I will be a hero. Zhao Hao laughed wildly and echoed in the square. You just wake up successfully, but if you want to become a hero, you still need to undergo assessment. When Zhao Hao was in high spirits, Ma Baogua interrupted him. Do we still need to be assessed? Isn't it just becoming a hero? There's a secret to it, you'll find out tonight. Ma Baogua did not elaborate and signaled the staff to continue. As batches of students go to school and batches come down, the number of successful awakenings is pitiful. The 19th batch of Mo Yunxin, Li Lingxi, Xiu'er, Li Xuanlong came on stage. The name was pronounced and the students below caused a sensation. Mo Yunxin and Li Lingxi are the most famous genius girls in these 9 schools, consistently ranking in the top 3 in liberal arts and the top 2 in martial arts. Except for Li Qing, who has remained the top scorer for thousands of years, the second and third positions in the liberal arts department of No. 9 middle school have always been hovering between the 2 beautiful women, Mo Yunxin and Li Lingxi. 5 minutes later, a sword light and an ice flower rose from the awakening chamber, with a lotus sword seal appearing on Mo Yunxin's forehead, and an ice flower appearing on Li Lingxi's forehead. The 19th batch have awakened 2 people successfully. When the staff read it out, Ma Baogua also looked enviously at the 2 women. Lotus Sword Seal and Ice Flower have records in the Heroes Association, both of which have S.level hero potential. According to their strength, they can reach the highest diamond level of strength. The levels announced by the Heroes Association are Black Iron, 10 times the physique of an ordinary person, Bronze, Silver, Gold, Platinum, Jade, Diamond, Extraordinary Master, Proud Grandmaster, and the Strongest King. Legend has it that there is a Supreme King above. But no one has ever seen it. Good, good. I didn't expect 2 good seedlings from your 9th middle school this time. Ma Baogua stood up and praised the 2 women repeatedly, showing great confidence in them. The 20th batch of Li Qing, Zhang Quandan, Wang Matzi. With a nervous heart, Li Qing followed the path in her memory towards the awakening module. Is there still a blind man? So you're a famous mortal from the 9th middle school. The most famous person in Zhejiang, Li Qing, is a mortal. Every morning at 4:30, I wake up and start running around the playground, squatting, pulling the horizontal bar, pushing and holding, and doing push-ups. I haven't stopped for a whole day from junior high school to high school. Due to being a deceased family member, all tuition fees, food and accommodation are waived. Humanities have consistently ranked first from elementary school to high school for 12 years, while martial arts are relatively mediocre, only at the middle and lower levels. But if you know he's blind, then you'll feel unbelievable. It is not easy to accurately hear every move of the opponent in the noisy and chaotic venue of the martial arts exam. In addition, there is not enough qi and blood medicine, not enough void beast blood, and no family support. Achieving such results is definitely extremely rare. So he is called the strongest mortal. Lying in the awakening module, as the door closed, Li Qing felt like she had completely relaxed and entered a weightless space. Ding, we have detected a hero who is 100% compatible with you and have opened a binding for you. You will listen to his teachings. I use my hands to achieve your dreams. Enlightenment is understanding the value of ignorance. Blindness in both eyes does not affect my pursuit of the enemy. Control yourself, control the enemy. If violence is not for killing, then it will be meaningless. Chapter 2. The Return of the King. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Blind guy. Although he hasn't played masturbation for 18 years, it doesn't affect his true love for this destined hero. As a unique player from the S1 to the S13 season, he once challenged the new season's top 50 single-row games. To put it proudly, no one knows blind monk Li Qing better than him. Not only because I love this hero, but also because I share the same name and surname with him. This is fate. Just as Li Qing was savoring, his consciousness was pulled back into his body, and the door of the awakening module opened. A capital L tattoo mark appeared on Li Qing's shoulder. The 20th batch successfully awakened one person. The staff looked at Li Qing in surprise, and the other 9 people all failed. This blind man actually succeeded. Half an hour later, the awakening ceremony was all over, and the principal announced that those who successfully awakened could team up and fight together after school, while those who failed continued their classes. Mo Yunxin, Li Lingxi, wait a moment, let's team up together. After dissolution, Zhao Hao quickly ran to the 2 women and invited them. No, I have my own team and I don't need to team up with you. Mo Yunxin glanced at Zhao Hao and looked down on this playboy. He bullied his classmates frequently at school. Such a person has poor character and is not worth communicating with. Unfortunately, Li Qing is blind. Otherwise, with his 12 years of persistent efforts and today's successful awakening, his family would definitely invite or invest in him. Thinking of this, Mo Yunxin couldn't help but look at Li Qing, but saw that Li Qing had already walked towards the school's miscellaneous room. That is his residence, and he doesn't live in the dormitory because he has to go up and down stairs and has a different schedule, which affects his classmates. In addition, he has to work part-time to help clean the cafeteria. On the other side, Li Lingxi didn't even say a word and left without giving Zhao Hao any face. Bastards. 2 bitches, one day I'll get you guys. Angry in the heart, but helpless. The Mo family is a family of heroes who have been passed down for 3 generations, while the Li family is an ancient martial arts family that has been passed down for 100 years. Neither of them can be provoked by themselves. As for inviting Li Qing, this choice has never appeared in his mind. If it weren't for Li Qing's awakening, he would have wanted to give him another beating to vent his anger. Returning to the miscellaneous room, Li Qing prepared food and started eating it in large gulps. With the awakening power entering the body, physical fitness has greatly improved. If my previous strength was 100 pounds, then now it has at least doubled. He, who has lost his vision, is more sensitive and focused on his body, and the change in strength makes him feel it clearly. After eating and drinking enough, Li Qing lay down to sleep and rest. According to Ma Baogua, the hero trial will start at 20 p.m., and only successful people can become heroes. At 20:00 in the evening, as soon as I woke up to solve my physiological problem, the clock began to tell the time. After a moment of dizziness, Li Qing felt like he was in another space because he couldn't feel the temperature and wind outside. Ding, new players have entered the world of heroes. Please name yourself in the world of heroes. Descendants of dragons. This is Li Qing's favorite skin, no one. Are you hiding your true characteristics? After hiding, no one will be able to recognize you. Hidden. Confirmed. Players will conduct hero trials in the next 5 Real Hero World Games and need to win 3 victories to officially become Bronze Level 5 heroes. 100% compatibility detected between player and Li Qing hero. Please select the completeness of hero power inheritance. S.level inheritance is 100%. A.level inheritance is 70%, B.level inheritance is 50%, C.level inheritance is 30%, and D.level inheritance is 10%. The completeness of inheritance will determine the strength of each hero obtained by the player in each level. Choosing a level will require at least one inheritance level rating in each promotion. If the promotion fails 3 times in a row, the level will be locked and cannot be further improved. What is the difference between S.level inheritance and D.level? Li Qing wants to clarify this issue before making a choice. D-level can earn 1 point of all attribute increase by advancing to a lower level, C-level can earn 3 points of all attribute increase, B-level can earn 5 points of all attribute increase, A-level can earn 7 points of all attribute increase, and S-level can earn 10 points of all attribute increase. S.level inheritance can double the maximum attribute increase when advancing to the level. You can also randomly select a passive skill from the hero world during the level advancement. Only when the compatibility with the hero reaches 100% can S.level inheritance be selected. That's it. Then I definitely choose S-level. 1 level is top 10, and you can also gain 10 times more attribute increases and passive skills. Player chooses S.level hero inheritance. Please confirm again. Confirm. Preliminary guidance completed. Hero trials are about to begin. Nickname: Descendant of the Dragon, Li Qing. Rank: Unclassified 0/5, Strength 20, Physical Fitness 20, Intelligence 20, Spiritual Strength 20, Entered the World of Heroes. The next moment, Li Qing was teleported to the 5-pointed star magic formation. Here we are, the last one. I, also, have defeated Master Yi, the swordsman on the opposite side in singles. The 1.9 tall man held a long sword and said arrogantly. Steady, steady, my Moffat inheritor placed an order. What if I don't have a weapon? There's a female police officer holding a gun on the other side, with a short hand hitting a long hand. Who can help me? The strong man standing on the side with a simple and honest face said with a wry mouth. I have a weapon. My hero's name is Xiu'er. This long spear is so handsome. I will go down to help the cute girl lowly and stab her through the opposite side. Thank you, big brother, but I'm so scared. Can we beat the steam robot and the barbarian king across from each other? The girl over 1.4 meters tall spoke with a mournful expression on her face. After listening for a while, Li Qing had a guess in her heart. For the past 18 years, there has been no news from the outside world about the world of heroes. Not to mention skills, even equipment information has not been revealed much. This is definitely not something that can be achieved simply by blocking information. He remembered the news he had heard by chance, that everything in the world of heroes was prohibited from spreading, and once discovered, it would be erased. A map of the canyon appeared in my mind, and my location was also marked. A group of novices who are not as good as elementary school students, it's time to perform real skills. The countdown was coming to an end, and Li Qing replaced the summoner's skills with punishment and ignition, ignoring his teammates who were cursing. The enemy has 30 seconds left to reach the battlefield. On the road, Stone Man Moffat vs Pai Qing Policewoman Cat Aaron, Ice Shooter Ash. Middle Wind Sword Hero Yasuo vs Infinite Sword Saint Master Yi. The Swift Scout Timo, the Governor of Debang Xiu'er vs the Barbarian King Tadamir, and the Steam Robot Brits. A familiar voice came, and after entering the world, Li Qing felt that her perception had instantly increased several times. The map in her mind showed that she was born in a blue lineup, and she bought a wild sword and ran straight towards the charging buff. Sigh, what's that blind man doing? Damn it, how could there be blind people participating in competitions in this heroic world? It's done, how can we play with blind people? I'm sure I'll lose this game. I finally finished my awakening, but I didn't expect to encounter a sinkhole in the first game. After reporting him, let the sickle of judgment punish him. The words of his teammates could be clearly conveyed, and Li Qing didn't care about learning the W skill Golden Bell Mask. He followed the map markers in his mind to the red buff, where a huge tree monster appeared. Don't expect your teammates to help you turn red in the small white game of the location. It's best to learn the W Golden Bell Mask for all level 1 gameplay. Not only can you add shields to yourself, but you can also add vampires to yourself. The most crucial thing is, this is the world of real heroes. You cannot see what your teammates are doing, you can only see where they are through the enemy map in your mind. Chapter 3. Start of Trial. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. In the game, it was easy to kill the tree monster. At this moment it was over 3 meters tall and had a huge and sturdy physique. When Li Qing punched him in the waist, he was suddenly awakened. Looking up, it turned out to be a little Kurami over 1.7 meters touching herself. Can this be tolerated? He slapped it with a whoosh. Li Qing's golden bell shield is used, with a golden light covering the entire body and a layer of shield blocking the tree monster's strike. W Golden Bell Shield / Iron Cloth Shirt, Vampire. And triggered a passive gust of wind and rain, Storm. Each use of a skill increases attack speed by 40%. Another punch on the waist of the tree monster caused more than 120 damage, and Li Qing secretly felt fortunate. Fortunately, he bought a wild sword without any waves and went straight out with a long sword, otherwise he might really be overturned. After a fight, Li Qing killed the tree monster with half his health and punishment. A blood-red light enveloped him, and Li Qing felt a burning flame emanating from his body. You have obtained the Crown of Ashes buff effect, with health restored by +5/second. Physical attacks will come with a burning effect of health 0.5/second for 3 seconds, and physical attacks will reduce local movement speed by 15% for 3 seconds. After receiving the red buff, Li Qing looked at the mini-map in his mind and found that Yasuo and Master Yi, the Sword Saint, were engaged in a battle in the middle. After upgrading, he clicked on Qingtai Yinbo and walked towards the grass. Mist grass, this dog Sword Saint has 2 sons, he has seeds waiting for me at level 2. The young man of Zhonglu Yasuo, Lone Sword Lord, shouted loudly. Little trash, where are you running? I have learned Wuji Kendo at the 1st level, and with my talent, I have a dual strike. What are you, trash, fighting me for? Across from him, Zhongdan, the young master of the Zhang family in Zhongzhou, chased after Yasuo while laughing wildly. Just you trash, you're still called Lonely Sword Lord. If I want to fight, you can't take care of your own life. During the mutual spraying stage, Aso had already been reduced to a quarter of his health by the Sword Saint, and the Lonely Sword Lord, who knew he was invincible, had no choice but to retreat. At this moment, Li Qing suddenly walked out of the grass and AW touched the back of the soldier, punching the Sword Saint on the waist. Damn it, you dare to sneak attack me. Look at the sword. Although the half-blooded Sword Saint was punched, he was not allowed at all. Facing a blind monk with 2/3 of his health at level 2, he was simply struck with a single sword. Feeling that the level 1 Sword Saint didn't run and still fought against him, Li Qing didn't hesitate to use the 2-section W Iron Cloth Shirt, with blood sucking, to start fighting back, while Q was also ready to wait for the Sword Saint to flash. Although not visible in the world of heroes, after integrating all the skills and talents of Li Qing, he gained a clearer perception than his eyes. Damn it, I can't beat you. I'll run away in a flash. It's not that easy to kill me, Flash Sword Saint. After just 3 rounds of fighting, the blind monk still had half of his health and only had 1/3 left. The Sword Saint, who was feeling uneasy, flashed and ran away. However, as expected, Li Qing stepped out of the line and hit the Sword Saint with a Q Heavenly Sound Wave. Ha! Are you teasing me? Although hit by Q, the young master of the Zhang family in Zhongzhou paid no attention and immediately arrived at the defense tower. Why did that blind man not flash and kill himself? However, he did not know that the blind monk's skills had a two-stage effect. Or maybe everyone in this world doesn't know the skill effects except for their own heroes. In addition to the fact that information about the game world cannot be leaked to ordinary people, there are also confidentiality regulations of the Heroes Association. In order to prevent the Void Monster from finding the hero's weakness, the Heroes Association will not proactively request registration and recording of any hero's information. Just when the young master of the Zhang family in Zhongzhou thought he could survive, blind monk heir Duanqiu followed and kicked the sword saint's buttocks. Then he followed a millennium killing and repairing sword move, then lit it and hung it, turning his head and leaving gracefully. The young master of the Zhang family in Zhongzhou, who was bloodshot, looked at the flames above his head and fell into despair. In the end, he fell to the bottom of the tower with hatred. First blood, the descendant of the dragon. The blind monk Li Qing killed the young master of the Zhang family in Zhongzhou. Master E of the infinite sword saint, and took one blood. What? That blind man killed the sword saint. How could it be? Impossible, impossible. How could a blind person possibly kill the infinite sword saint E with B.level potential? Just when our side was shocked and the enemy couldn't believe it, Li Qing returned to the front line and slaughtered chickens and sheep all the way. Before Aso could return to the front line, he swallowed 2 large waves of troops. Yasuo looked at the empty middle road as a north wind blew by. I'm so spicy, why are there no more 2 waves of troops left? Because this is the world of real heroes, you cannot see any other information except for the location of your own hero on the mini-map in your mind, so he has no idea whether the pawn line has been pushed or what happened. Last reminder, not to be noted in the future. After finishing the battle line and upgrading to level 3, Li Qing, as a member of the red team, followed the remembered route along the river and hit the position of the blue buff with a Q heavenly sound wave. Receive a prompt after receiving the blue buff. You have obtained the Crown of Insight buff effect, which reduces skill cooldown by 10%, and significantly increases mana/energy recovery speed. As the blue light wrapped around her body, Li Qing felt a clear mind and her understanding of skills became clearer. The blue buff in Hero World can significantly increase intelligence and mental power in a short period of time. In an instant, Li Qing had an awakening in his heart. At this moment, the 2 marksmen, the female police officer and the cold ice, who were on the road, had already pressed their lines under the tower. The stone man dared not even touch the small soldiers, which was a tragic and typical example of being imprisoned on the road. If you have the ability, come out and I will definitely not kill you. Sister Hanbing, with an arrow blocking her throat, let out a W through the defense tower and shouted. You have the ability to come in. The stone man, I am a hard person, is not losing, and he extends his middle finger under the tower to look down upon him. Miss Allen, please don't always explode and shout. The female police officer, Demon City Police Flower, pointed a sniper rifle at a soldier and scolded Ashi, who was in full swing. I know, cousin, don't worry so much. Just as the 2 of them were pressing against the tower, Li Qing, who had finished brushing toads and river crabs and had risen to level 4, approached from behind. A precise eye-piercing W flew between the 2, and then the E skill captured it. Thunder shatters. Shatters tendons and bones. Directly using the 2nd level E skill, the movement speed of the 2 marksmen was reduced. Ignoring the scraping, Master AI punched the female police officer in the chest. Ah, stinky thug. This sudden attack immediately frightened the 2 of them, and as a 100% game world, this punch can be considered as hitting the key point of the female police officer. Then he raised his hand and shot Li Qing on the head. Unfortunately, it was blocked by the golden bell cover, and then Li Qing punched the female police officer in the chest again. The embarrassed and angry female police officer retreated and raised her hand to shoot again and again. The cold ice on the other side was stunned and even forgot to attack. My cousin was sexually assaulted by hooligans. At this moment, her mind was filled with this idea. My cousin is a top student at the Magic City High School. She is a genius who will definitely enter the Magic City military or security school in the future. Surprisingly, someone attacked her chest. And it seems to have been hit by a blind man on the chest. Although invisible, Li Qing, who was extremely sensitive, immediately noticed the changes in the expressions and tone of the female police officer and Han Bing. This alliance world probably relies not only on technology, but also on the test of mentality, psychology, and even courage. As an experienced driver, he knows that some things are used well and can have miraculous effects in low-end situations. Anyway, we all need to gain powerful strength. Even if it means anything. Chapter 4. Rolling. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. The female police officer who was only slowed down by level 2 learned the Q peace messenger and W yodel trap, so she was unable to distance herself for a while. With Li Qing marking the Q heavenly sound wave, the female police officer only had 1/3 of her blood left for a flash. Li Qing, who had already calculated accurately, followed suit and kicked the female police officer in the buttocks. Ah! Bastard, I'm going to fight you. Feeling a heavy kick on his buttocks, with unhealthy health and a burst of anger, the demon metropolis police flower turned around and began to stand and masturbate with the blind monk. Unfortunately, he was killed by Li Qing in just 3 rounds. After regaining his senses, Cold Ice also began to run towards the bottom of the tower, but what he received was a dragon claw from the blind monk slapping his chest. Damn it, if you dare to eat my mother's tofu, go to hell with me. As a young girl, with a single arrow blocking her throat, how could she bear it? She raised her hand and stood masturbating with Li Qing. But as he slapped him on the peak of his body, his delicate body trembled and his face turned red. He was the proud daughter of the 3rd martial arts family in the demon capital, and how could he have been so violated? In a fit of anger, he even picked up Aishi's long bow and forcefully tapped Li Qing's head with both hands. Missed the next moment, Li Qing was surprised to find a miss sign on her head. Cold Ice's attack failed, and he thought of the earliest evasion mechanism in League of Legends. Is it possible that using non-system judgment methods to attack will be deemed ineffective? Although thinking in my mind, my hands and feet kept moving, and with a flick of my leg, the Cold Ice fell. Damn it, remember to me. I'll definitely beat you up. An arrow sealed the throat and shouted wildly. Dragon's Descendant. Blind Monk Li Qing kills 1 arrow to seal throat. Ice Shooter Aishi achieves double kill. Blind Monk Li Qing's big kill special kill 3 killing spree. What's the situation? Whose general is this blind man? Why is he hanging like this? Don't be reckless with your lewd development, beautiful woman. I'll take you down the road and fly. Although Li Qing gained an advantage in the upper middle, the duo of Timo and Zhao Xian in the lower lane had already been killed by robots and the Barbarian King. The Barbarian King, who had obtained 2 heads, said confidently. At this moment, helping to clear the army line on the road has reached level 5, holding a full 2,300 yuan in his hand. Li Qing has already returned to the city and is directly searching for equipment in the store. You have purchased the mysterious sword as expected by Li Qing. This equipment has not been eliminated, and the version of Hero World is a hodgepodge. Except for the characters keeping up with the times, the equipment is available in every version. Even the craziest egg knife, which can be found on Baidu or at the peak of the game, divided into looting version and sheep knife version, has appeared in Li Qing's mind. However, this mysterious sword is Li Qing's beloved choice. Mysterious sword, killing sword, item attribute plus 10 attack power, plus 110 attack power when layers are full. Only passive. The mysterious sword has 5 layers of special effects upon purchase. Each time you kill an enemy hero, you gain 2 layers of buff and 1 layer of assist. Each layer of buff increases attack power by 5 points and can stack up to 20 layers. Lose 1/2 buff upon death. After stacking 20 layers, the hero's attack speed increases by 20% and movement speed increases by 15%. With the extra money to buy shoes and a long sword, Li Qing ran straight towards the middle road. At this moment, the Sword Saint has reached level 4. Although he died once, Aso, due to the willingness of the blind monk to help others, not only did not provide assistance, but also did not even touch the experience and economy of the minions. Although he was not killed in battle, his level is still only 3 levels behind the Sword Saint by 1 level. With the standard Happy Wind male gameplay, an E.step forward / charged into the small soldier and struck the Sword Saint with a sword, sparking another fierce battle in the middle. However, heroes like the Sword Saint naturally have an advantage when facing close combat heroes. With passive double swords and infinite sword damage, in just 5 rounds of combat, Aso was crippled and hastily surrendered the flash to retreat. "Where are you running? Look at me, Alpha Assault." The young master of the Zhang family in Zhongzhou, named Yasuo, instantly killed him, but also carried a defense tower and his health dropped below half health. "Little trash, do you dare to come out and show off your kung fu skills?" The Sword Saint mocked while clearing the military line. However, before he could react, Li Qing lightly touched the soldier, followed by Tianlei breaking and slapping him in the face of the Sword Saint. After conducting military tests on the road, the blind monk's attack can be triggered as long as his fists and feet fall on the opponent's body. If he hits the head, it can cause weak point damage, plus 15% damage value. Compared to rigid games, this world of heroes is more realistic. "Puff, how dare you hit me in the face?" The Sword Saint waved his hand and slashed at Li Qing's golden bell cover, cursing with national essence. Li Qing also silently kicked under the Sword Saint's crotch, triggering weakness damage again, plus 20% damage value. Hiss. "Why don't you talk about martial arts?" Intense pain came, and the young master of the Zhang family in Zhongzhou took a deep breath of air. He almost couldn't hold his sword firmly and used Q Alpha to launch a surprise attack on Li Qing. Even if it was 1 level behind Li Qing, the Sword Saint who scored the 2nd level Q at level 4 dealt 1/3 of the health of the 5th level blind monk without any soldiers. But at the moment of landing, the Q heavenly sound wave hit the Sword Saint, and then the second Q hit, instantly killing the Sword Saint. Blind monk Li Qing's rampage 4 kills. Rampage. In the next round, we can consider replacing the conquerors and pursuing high explosive power with first attack or electrocution. Taking 4 heads and helping Yasuo clear the line immediately raised him to level 6, Li Qing instinctively thought. Double kill. Double kill. Before Li Qing could even think about it, another message came down the road. Looking at the small map, it turned out that the robot and the Barbarian King had once again completed a 0 for 2 double kill. The Barbarian King had already reached level 5 with 4 heads in hand. We can't let them continue. Looking at the 2 people who started eating tappy, Li Qing knew he couldn't continue like this, otherwise he wouldn't be able to take it with him. He immediately went down to prepare for the harvest. Hahaha, Big Brother is amazing. He deserves to be called Xiu'er. The steam robot, mechanical apprentice, exclaimed directly. The Barbarian King, Xiu'er, slashed at the defense tower one after another, laughing and saying, "What the hell is this? I'm a heroic young man. Look at me and treat the 5 opponents like chickens. Big Brother, mighty and domineering." Just as the 2 were praising, Li Qing got stuck in the blind spot behind him, his mind focused on the small map, and he was waiting for the 2 to prepare to leave the defense tower. As long as there is this action, it means that the anti-tower line is running out. 15 seconds later, the 2 people on the mini-map began to retreat, and their own troops also walked to the middle of the 2 towers. Li Qing knows the opportunity is here. stepping out of the river and directly piercing W's eyes. Before the barbarian king could react, a powerful move called Long swung his tail and kicked him back under the defense tower. Along the way, he also knocked the robot away and dropped less than half of its health. Where did the blind man Wutsao come from? The barbarian king was shocked and pale. As soon as he landed, the whirlwind slash rushed towards the direction of the robot, intending to kill Li Qing with 2 strikes and 1 strike. However, before he could approach, Li Qing had already used Yakak's quick combo to kill the robot. Blind monk Li Qing dominates game 5 kills. Dominating. The barbarian king's silt that came up from above was not empty, slapping the barbarian king in the face. 178, plus 15% damage critical. Go to hell. The barbarian king's machete also struck the blind monk. 107. The barbarian king did not strike a critical strike with this sword, and the damage was more than half that of the blind monk. Seeing that he had only a quarter of his health left, while the blind monk still had 3/4 of his health, the barbarian king directly used Q anger to restore health. But in the face of the blind man's adhesive blow, he ultimately died in the hands of the blind monk. Blind monk, no one can block 6 kills. Unstoppable. In just 8 minutes of the start, the blind man had already obtained 6 heads, and the most terrifying killing sword had also been stacked to the 11th level, with a special effect of 20% attack speed and 15% movement speed. After helping to clear the military line on the way down, Li Qing started cleaning up the resources in the wilderness again. After 10 minutes, he returned home and took out his 5-speed shoes, Tiamat, a small wild knife, and 11 layers of killing swords. His attack had reached a terrifying 239 points. And at this moment, the highest attacking barbarian king only has a no-rage bonus attack of only 98. If violence is not for killing, then it will be meaningless. The sentence flashed through Li Qing's mind, oh, now is his personal show time. Chapter 5. Ancient Version Equipment. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In the 10-minute 4-piece set, Li Qing's killing intent surged. He charged straight into the middle of the line and killed the Sword Saint's 3 fists and a 2 Quetzales platoon who were fighting with Yasuo. Then, he entered the opponent's field to take the red buff and detoured to the rear of the road. Li Qing sneered at the small map in his mind that he had learned to control the military line on the road. Piercing W directly from the wild area, the lightning-fast and powerful dragon swung its tail to kick the female police officer away and collide with the cold ice. The seamlessly connected Q hit the female police officer, and just as she landed, her big foot at size 44 pressed against her chest, almost exploding the 2 big white rabbits. Dead straight man. Upon landing, Li Qing still kicked the angry female police officer to death with a flick of her pussy leg, then turned around and slapped the chest of the ice shooter. What are you doing? He was once again the old trick of being a salty pig hand. With 1 arrow, he sealed his throat and was furious, but before he could retaliate, he was slapped and killed by Li Qing in the face. Ah. I'm so angry, you steel straight man. Old virgin, vulgar rascal, spend your whole life being a bachelor. The demonic police flower, who is also in the resurrection, has an ironclad face. Don't let me catch who he is, otherwise I will definitely kill him. Even if Jesus comes, he cannot be saved. Legendary. Super God. When Li Qing completed 8 kills and 0 deaths, sounds echoed in the sky. Congratulations to Li Qingda for becoming a super god. Get all attribute values and 1 reward. Li Qing was ecstatic as he listened to the broadcast. I can't believe there are other ways to obtain attributes besides advancing to the game. After be returned home, Li Qing successfully found the ancient version of the blind monk's ultimate artifact in the shop in her mind. The Lamp of Riggs, only passive. Splitting. Normal attacks deal 100 damage, reduced by 67% when attacking heroes, and heal 10 health points. Each kill, assist, and large monster kill will increase the damage of this small fruit by 3 and the healing effect by 1. Only passive. The reward obtained by killing wild monsters increases by 30%. Unique initiative. Place an invisible guard with 1100 views at a designated location for 90 seconds, cooldown time of 90 seconds, casting distance of 600, 2/2 times, automatically replenished each time returning to the city. When the cumulative number of layers reaches 30, it transforms into flame torch. This cumulative number of layers can be obtained by killing heroes, obtaining assists, and killing large wild monsters. Large wild monsters killed by hunters' wide blade knives and Maird's claws will be counted, flame torch. Gain an additional plus 15 attack power and 35% attack speed. Seeing this attribute, Li Qing's mind was buzzing. This equipment turned the tide of the entire version at that time, claiming to be the jungle version. Especially for warriors who fight in the wilderness, when paired with a killing sword, it can be called a left-handed small killing sword and a right-handed big killing sword. People should kill, and the god should block the killing god. At this moment, 13 minutes later, Li Qing walked out of the spring water, holding the greedy hydra, the rigger's lamp, the 17th layer killing sword, and the 5-speed shoes. His attack power reached a terrifying 350 points. You should know that the equipment in the world of heroes has not been weakened, just a greedy hydra has plus 80 attack power. Riga's lamp plus 35 attack power, killing sword, 17th level, 95 attack power, plus talent and absolute level 8 crushing power. It can be said that the game has ended at this moment. However, Li Qing still wanted to kill and kill. He has already chosen the remaining 2 pieces of equipment, the Endless Blade and the Holy Sword. Many people know about the Endless Blade, but the Holy Sword is definitely a terrifying artifact that only experienced players understand. Holy Sword plus 25 attack power plus 25 attack speed only passive, plus 18 armor piercing, unique initiative. Provides plus 100% attack speed and 100% critical strike chance, lasting for 3 seconds or 3 critical strikes, 45-second cooldown. Thinking sword Li Qing once again came to the middle, and the shrewd sword saint no longer pressed Yasuo to fight. Instead, he waited for Yasuo to come and fight one set, which was absolutely radical. However, just as he finished playing Yasuo's set, the blind man flew over along the line of the army. That's right, in his opinion, it's completely flying over. At a speed of over 5 meters per step, I looked up and saw that it was still under the defense tower. The next moment, I had already touched my face. With the connection between E.Day Thunderbolt and muscle and bone breaking, the 5th level sword Saint Dun was scared out of his wits and killed twice in a row. In addition, his troops were pushed into the defense tower, and he did not develop well. If it weren't for Yasuo's head, he might not even have enough money to attack speed shoes. However, something that made him despair happened. E-A, Hydra. He's dead. Even Q is useless. Sleeping slot, did you make a mistake? What harm does this blind person cause? Did I see a ghost? I was stunned. The young master of the Zhang family in Zhongzhou was startled and roared hysterically. What's the name of a ghost? Was killed by a blind man again. Why don't you give it away? I'm at level 6 and invincible for 5 seconds. Watch me kill him. Xiu'er cursed and saw the news of the death of the sword saint in his mind. No, that blind man is too terrifying. I was stunned by him, and I didn't even see how he acted before I died. Damn it. I'll cook my own food. What does a blind person have? What else did the barbarian king want to say when he chopped down the sports car with a knife on the way down? He saw the blind monk sprinting out of the grass, piercing his eyes and hitting the barbarian king directly. Well done. Who do you think I am? Look at me, I'll kill you 3 times. The barbarian king, Xiu'er, was immediately overjoyed when he saw the blind monk, picked up his big sword, and with a whirlwind slash, he welcomed him. However, just arrived at the foot of the blind monk. One library. Li Qing adjusted his position and seized the opportunity. His ultimate move was the dragon swinging its tail and kicking the barbarian king away, directly hitting the robot following closely behind him. Then, he followed in a second cue, instantly capturing the barbarian king. Li Qing, who landed on the ground, directly struck the thunderbolt to stimulate his muscles and bones, slowing down the robot. Then, he made 3 attempts to level A and killed it. Until now, the barbarian king woke up like a dream. What happened just now? I was so big that my blood bar disappeared in an instant. I didn't even unleash my 5-second invincibility. Li Qing, who had already killed Red Eyes, swallowed up a large wave of troops and directly turned to the enemy's wilderness to brush money. At this moment, the 5 enemy soldiers were completely awakened. What kind of ghost is that blind person? Why is it so terrifying? Is it just a rebirth of a silver powerhouse? Aaron, please read less fantasy novels. I have never seen such a powerful silver hero before. He must have such strength. He is definitely the strongest hero that no one has ever awakened before. The Magic City police flower looked disgusted and scolded her companions, then looked at the blind man's 11/0/0 record on the numerical panel and guessed. It's over, my first trial is over. Why is that blind man so strong? Too unlucky. I met the strongest hero on my first trial, so I can't play anymore. Afraid of a hammer. Let's stick together. Xiu'er doesn't believe in evil. He must have bought all his attack equipment for such high damage. As long as we don't get caught in a second, we can win. Xiu'er did not believe in evil, and at his call, others died and became active doctors, walking together in the middle to advance and retreat together. At this moment, Li Qing had already returned home and bought the holy blade first, because he didn't have enough money and could only use a critical strike cloak. At this moment, Li Qing saw from a small map that 5 people across from him were actually huddling in the middle road. This is really an old longevity star who eats arsenic and seeks his own death. If the development of the economy is delayed until the later stage, there is still a certain chance. After all, I do not have ADC and lack remote output on my end. But now forming a group. Although all 5 people are at level 6, I am already at level 11 as a blind monk. You may not know what the horror of divine flash killing flow is. Chapter 6. 4 kills with 1 kick. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Let's huddle together and see if that blind man dares to come. 5 people huddled in the middle, and the robot took the lead in hooking his teammate Aso out of the tower. He was instantly killed by the 5 people's concentrated fire, and then began to fight against the defense tower together. At this moment, Li Qing has already taken the blue buff and squatted on the edge of the grass to search for the summoning plane. Seeing that the blind monk did not appear, several people immediately became bold. In order to seize the military line, the female police officer, Han Bing, even walked to the A soldier under the defense tower. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Li Qing ran out of the grass and shouted loudly as soon as the robot appeared. The blind man has come out, he's in the grass. Eat my deadly hook. The robot's shout immediately caught everyone's attention, but the hook flew past Li Qing's back, even useless. With 5 speed shoes and a killing sword to boost speed, it can be said that Li Qing is agile and agile. Coupled with a perception that surpasses that of an ordinary person, he immediately judges that it is impossible for this hook to hit him. Not good. Sagittarius, come back. The hook failed, and a few people suddenly felt uneasy. Sure enough, Li Qing touched the small soldier who had just walked over and hit the barbarian king with a big move. 1 library. This kick caused astonishing damage. In order to test whether his thoughts were true, Li Qing used the divine sword at the moment of using his ultimate move. 1799.1689.1450.1550.1898. Sure enough, the world of heroes has not changed the initial setting where the divine sword can trigger physical damage skills and critical strikes. This kick is devastating. All 5 of them, except for the barbarian king who used big moves, have died. The descendant of the dragon, Li Qing, killed the infinite sword saint, Zhang family young master in Zhongzhou, the cold ice archer, throat blocked with 1 arrow, the Piqing female police officer, demon city police flower, and the steam robot, mechanical blood glucose apprentice, to obtain 4 kills. Reward all attribute points +1. Congratulations to blind monk Li Qing for winning 4 consecutive kills. Quadra kill. And Li Qing did not stop Q hitting the newly landed barbarian king, and then followed up with the second Q segment. The barbarian king, who had already been scared out of his wits, decisively used flash and whirlwind to run away. But the burning flames above his head made him dumbfounded. Ignite. Congratulations to blind monk Li Qing for winning 5 consecutive kills. Pentakill. The descendant of the dragon, Li Qing, killed the barbarian king Tadamir, Xiu'er, and received 5 kills. Reward all attribute values with 3. Ding dong. There is a significant difference in strength between the 2 sides in this battle, and the red side has been determined to be negative. This trial is over. Just as Li Qing was preparing to push the tower, a prompt suddenly appeared in his mind. After a moment of dizziness, Li Qing reappeared at the position of the 5-pointed star array, and then a burst of heat began to flow into his body. Li Qing felt his strength rapidly increasing. Settlement of this battle. S score obtained for undead, S score obtained for highest kill damage, S score obtained for comprehensive battle score. Finally, SSS level score obtained. Congratulations on obtaining the SSS score. You will receive a total of 15 attribute value rewards, including all attribute values and 10 rewards, as well as combat supernatural +1, for kills +1, and 5 kills +3 rewards. The current attribute values are strength. 35, physical fitness. 35, intelligence. 35, spirit. 35, detected that your strength far exceeds that of an equal tester. An advanced version of the trial battle will be launched for you. The advanced version of the trial battle will match a hero who is 1 level higher than you as an opponent, and after victory, you will receive double rewards and a score of +1 reward. If the score is A, it will automatically increase to S, and the level scores will earn 1 attribute value, 3 points at S level, 5 points at SS level, and 10 points at SSS level. May I ask if you have participated in the advanced trial? If you refuse, you can proceed with the remaining 4 regular trial matches normally, but the reward value will be reduced by half. Participate in the advanced trial. No hesitation, hesitation will lead to defeat. The second game will weaken by half, and there is a possibility of 1/10 remaining in the third game. Rather than being like a salted fish, it's better to give it a try. And feeling the strength of these people, Li Qing didn't think that the heroes who completed 5 trial battles would be so powerful. As the first person to become a blind monk, he has this confidence. Turn on ranking again. After confirming his good condition, Li Qing began to rank again. In order to change his fate, he had to become the Liver Emperor. He had to complete 5 trial battles in one night. As dizziness spread, Li Qing once again arrived at the prepared position of the Wumangsing magic formation. And this time, Li Qing's preset position for playing directly came to the field position. Our side is in the red camp. Central card Master Trist, up road Barbarian King Tedamir, down road ADC Ice Shooter Aishi, down road Assist Bullhead Chieftain Alista, playing Wild Blind Monk Li Qing. The enemy is in the blue camp. Middle Fireman Brand, upward Dark Sword Demon Aderx, downward Pi City Police Officer Cat assisting Fairy Maiden Lulu, and defeating Prince Garvin IV of Demacia. At first glance, the lineup appears to be more reasonable than trial battles, but it hides the hero world names of all participants. This reminded Li Qing of the combat style at the top of the canyon, where the names of both sides could only be seen after the battle was over. This is interesting, as this method can greatly avoid the situation of militias hanging up and sending people's heads. Of course, Li Qing also does not believe that anyone would casually give away a person's head. After all, this is an extraordinary world, not a game. If someone deliberately gives away their head, punishment is definitely unacceptable. It's over, it's not easy to fight anymore. There's an S-level potential hero on the opposite side, the dark-blooded sword demon Xiu'er. Be steady and don't be reckless. The barbarian king on the road saw his opponent's face turn blue. This is an S-level hero registered in the Heroes Association. Although he doesn't know his skills, how could he be rated as an S-level potential hero? He immediately shouted hysterically. Stay calm, wait for my card master's support, don't compete in the early stages. Steady, steady, steady. Your grandmother has a leg, why is there still a blind man? Can this thing fight wild? The auxiliary bull-headed chieftain comforted Li Qing, who was clearly blind with red bandages wrapped around his eyes, and immediately shouted out. Pittsburgh policewoman Katerin is just a huge question mark. Others also looked at Li Qing with a bewildered expression. Perhaps it's a new hero. Right. The old card master, who held the card steadily, said with a hint of hesitation. Li Qing remained silent and changed his talent to electrocution. Electric shock rune. When hitting a hero with 3 independent attacks or skills within 3 seconds, it will deal additional adaptive damage. Damage value. 30.180, plus 40% additional attack power, plus 25% spell strength. Cooling time. 25.20 seconds. We once called them Thunderlords because their lightning-brought disaster skills have also been replaced with regular punishments heavy +sign flash. Li Qing sneered contemptuously at the prince's rebellion. Those who have used the crown prince in the wilderness know that the harvester in the hands of a master is the ATM in the eyes of a novice. As a commendable straight-pointing skill in the entire alliance, it is the lowest priority control skill in the entire alliance, and can be easily interrupted as long as it is a control. Since Li Qing started playing games, he has not been hit by the prince EQ twice. Chapter 7. The Fastest Blood. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. The enemy has 30 seconds left to reach the battlefield. Battle begins. After entering the battlefield, Li Qing bought a wild knife and ran ahead towards the red buff on the opposite side. Sigh. What are the blind man planning to do? Do you really want to send it? Bastard, what were you doing over there? It's over, I might have encountered a ghost. Wutsao, brother, don't take it too hard. Giving someone a head will be erased. Seeing Li Qing's direction of action, the 4 of them immediately shouted out. However, Li Qingxi, who was galloping all the way, did not stop and ran straight to the blue and red buff grass to poke her eyes. The fog of war in the area where the red buff is located has been dispelled, and Li Qing's perception is clear, seeing everything everywhere. What kind of operation is it to run over and insert your eyes? Just as the assistant issued a question mark, the other party's prince appeared in the field of vision when the fake eye disappeared. Just to get an eye in the past. There's something wrong with it. The barbarian king cursed and cursed. As the lines of war began to clash, the prince began to solo with the tree monster, stabbing a spear into its waist. Then the tree monster slapped the prince on the head, unleashing a 97 red damage. Good guy, wild monsters still carry critical hits. Li Qing's perception is clear. When playing in the wild, he deliberately uses his body to resist injuries and avoid his head. This is a habit of his body, after all, as a blind person with both eyes, protecting the crucial position is crucial. A non-critical attack on a tree monster can deal approximately 60.69 damage once, and after dealing a fatal critical strike, it can deal 105.138 damage. Default critical strike is 175%, after reaching endless, critical strike is 225%, which can be understood that equipment in the world of heroes is at its peak. After deducting defense, 90.110 is the floating damage area. After 1 second of mental calculation, Li Qing came up with a very strange result. The prince must use the punishment in advance. Even so, after defeating the red buff tree monster, the maximum remaining health is 150.200. Sure enough, after a full 40 seconds of pulling and fighting, the prince had 1/3 of his health left after using the punishment in advance, and the tree monster still had 200 health. At this moment, Li Qing kicked the crown prince with a Q heavenly sound wave, without hesitation using the second section Q echo strike. When he kicked the crown prince's waist, he punished him with a strike kill red buff, instantly upgrading to level 2. Then add skill E for 0.1 seconds. The moment he landed, he slapped the prince in the face and then electrocuted him. Frist blood. Blind monk Li Qing kills Prince Xiu'er 4 of Dalmatia and takes the first drop of blood. The broadcast echoed through the canyon, and everyone was stunned as they couldn't help but look at the location of the prince's death. This little brother is amazing. He has something. Just give a thumbs up to the card, thinking that the blind person may be a rookie, but unexpectedly they are experts. Steady. It's just one person's head, don't panic. He's blind, just be careful when fighting. Fireman Brand comforts the prince. At this moment, the sword demon on the road successfully tackled level 2 with a set of 3 section Q and ignited and W soft controls to chase and kill his teammate, the barbarian king. Damn it, this sword demon is too invincible. Its skills can still be controlled without a CD, it's so despicable. The barbarian king roared with anger, and even if he clicked Q at level 1, his scalp was about to explode. He didn't have a CD for chopping the opponent's skill, and even ran away and was pulled back by chain control, making it impossible to fight. At this point, Li Qing had already finished hitting the opponent's F6 bird and ran towards the middle. The middle-aged card master was overjoyed when he saw this situation. He cut a yellow card and flashed it to stop the fireman. Then, he threw the Q universal card and electrocuted it, causing the fireman to lose 1/3 of his health. Li Qing directly kicked Tian Inbua on the waist of Hunan Brand, and then slapped him in the face. At this moment, the fireman woke up and flashed back without stopping. But how could Li Qing let him run away? Tianlei suddenly flashed and came to the side of Hunan, then kicked Hunan Kuan, causing him to grit his teeth and curse in pain. Young man, why don't you talk about martial arts? However, Li Qing ignored it and urged him to break his tendons and bones, using his sticky and burning man to cooperate with the card to kill him. Li Qing, who had 2/3 of his health, ran towards his own wild area. After entering the grass, Li Qing turned around and ran towards the blue square blue buff. According to habitual thinking, if a red buff is stolen, one must definitely go and brush their own blue buff. And on the middle road map, it is obvious that the blind man is running towards his own house. 10 seconds later, level 3 Li Qing appeared on the blue square blue buff, while the prince was still fighting hand to hand with the blue buff. At this moment, the prince had 2/3 of his health, the blind also had 2/3 of his health, and the blue buff had half of his health. But blind man level 3, the prince is still level 1. The prince glanced at the blue buff and turned around in pain, ready to leave, but how could Li Qing let him go? He directly used thunder to break through and stimulate his muscles and bones to slow down, and then hit him with Q Tianyin wave. The electrocution, which had been successfully converted from a CD, was triggered again, leaving the prince with 1/3 of his health left. Damn it! With a curse, the prince flashed, but the next moment a big foot flew from afar and kicked him in the face. He landed a punch on the bridge of the prince's nose, and then passively kicked the Prince Kunken with a swift and violent kick, killing him. Blind Monk Li Qing's Big Kill Special Kill 3 Killing Spree. Oh my goodness, so amazing. Xiu'er Aishi exclaimed in surprise when he saw the blind monk killing him again. Bully, this big brother is amazing. He's definitely an S-level potential hero. I just don't know he's as powerful as the Dark Clan magic sword. The bull-head chief looked at the results and found that the blind monk was 3/0/0. Dark Sword Demon 1/0/0. The barbarian king on his own road has been beaten and imprisoned under the tower. Li Qing finished collecting the 3 wolves and toads from the opposite side and returned to level 4. Watching the dark-blooded sword demon still pressing the line and not following, his heart suddenly rose again. Sure enough, people in this world don't know how to control the military line or how to report location warnings. This team has some voice effects, but not much. Little trash, come out quickly and let your sword demon grandpa teach you how to be a good person. Sword demon repeatedly defeated the barbarian king with half of his health left, arrogantly mocking him. The barbarian king knew he couldn't fight, so he had to huddle under the tower and repair his sword as a turtle with a shrunken head. At this moment, Li Qing walked over from the grass and hit the sword demon with an E. Don't think that a stinky blind person can beat me by being 1 level higher than me. I'm a sword demon with S-level potential. Sword demon raised his hand and the first cut of the Q Dark Descendant blade was made, but it was easily dodged by the blind monk while facing him, and he slapped sword demon in the face. How dare you hit me in the face? The angry sword demon directly slowed down the blind monk, and the second Q also followed suit. Li Qing smiled at the corners of her mouth and inserted a golden bell shield to break free from the dark-blooded sword demon's vicious fire chain. At the same time, she dodged the second attack and stood behind the sword demon, striking him with a straight punch on the back of the head. 109. A super high red critical damage appeared, which startled Li Qing. You should know that the level 4 blind monk only has over 70 points, according to rune floating, and a level A hit that deals 109 damage is definitely beyond Li Qing's imagination. At this moment, Sword Demon realized that he only had 1/3 of his health left. In a panic, he immediately retreated and flashed away. However, Li Qingqiu, who was already prepared, hit the Sword Demon and then followed closely behind second section Q, catching up and killing him with 1 punch and 1 kick. Blind Monk Li Qing's Rampage 4 kills. Rampage. After helping the barbarian king clear the military line, he returned to the city. At the beginning of the game for 5 minutes, the blind monk Li Qing was at level 5, with 4 heads, and cleared a half-field area and 2.5 waves of troops. The competition in hand has reached a terrifying 2,100 yuan. A killing sword worth 1,400 yuan. Start. Then he bought shoes and a long sword and ran towards his own blue zone again. Chapter 8. Helping Others for Joy. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Big Brother, Awesome 666. Alista exclaimed that he is amazing. At the age of 19, he is a top student at the Mordo Military Academy, but he has never seen such an amazing person before. Looking at the competition information, the opposing player, Prince Zhaoan IV of Dalmatia, has only reached level 2, while the blind monk of 3 wolves and toads has reached level 6 after completing the red square blue buff. This speed is truly terrifying. The battle situation on the way down was very tense. The policewoman and Lulu, with their long and protective hands, easily gained control of the line and pushed their troops down the tower. But the bull-head chief has a strong team-building ability, which makes the female police officers afraid to excessively suppress and repair the cold ice. As Li Qing finished playing the river crab and inserted his IW from the position of Xiaolong into the blue field, Chief Nyoto's eyes lit up. Go ahead, blind brother has gone behind. In an instant, WQ's second platoon knocked the female police officer away, and the cold ice behind him immediately followed suit. Someone is coming. Although forcefully opened, the policewoman flashed upon landing and immediately distanced herself. Thinking that the previously sleazy two dared to take the initiative to attack, it was feared that someone would come to support her. In my mind, the barbarian king is still pinned under the tower as a shrunken turtle, with cards and the fiery man anxiously on par. Quickly retreat, that blind man is coming. The female police officer, feeling uneasy, shouted loudly to her teammate, the fairy maiden Wululu, to retreat. However, the blind monk had already walked out of the blue triangular grass, adjusted his position, and Qingtai and Yinbo took the lead in making a move. Then, the female police officer hit Lulu with a big move R, the dragon swinging its tail and kicking it away, followed by a second Q echo hit. The female police officer was kicked on a piece of paper in mid-air and electrocuted. Blind monk Li Qing has already dominated the game with 5 kills, dominating. After landing, she punched Lulu in the chest and followed closely, followed by cold ice slowing down to catch up. Lulu flashed, but still couldn't escape Li Qing's pursuit and was killed. Blind monk Li Qing is already unstoppable for 6 kills. Unstoppable. With 2 announcements, everyone looked at the information panel in shock. The blind monk at 6/0/0 is indeed somewhat terrifying. Judging from the economic downturn, Prince Jiawen IV of Marcia only has 1300 at the moment, while the blind monk Li Qing has already reached a terrifying 4100. After looking at the time, the blue square red buff reached its refresh time. Li Qing walked towards the river and touched the eye he had just inserted again at the location of Xiaolong to reach the blue square lower road wild area. This time, Li Qing followed F6 and walked around. Just as he turned the corner, he saw Chang Wei, the prince, playing Laifu, a red buff. I knew you were making a name for yourself. Whispering softly, a Q heavenly sound wave hit the prince directly, and then a second Q echo hit. At this moment, the blind monk is at level 6 and the prince is at level 2. The huge level difference, equipment difference, and the prince's red buff left 2/3 of his health. In just 1 second, the prince was instantly killed by the blind monk again. Blind monk Li Qing approaches God 7 kills. Godlike. Damn it. How did he know I was here? Is this bastard really blind? The prince was furious and hysterical at the moment, as if he had lost his sanity. It must be an S.level potential, although blind, I'm afraid it has the ability to understand the enemy's movements. I'll help you fight in the wilderness later. The stable and dominant Huaman analyzed that he planned to help the prince fight in the wilderness later. Blind. Is this really blind? He's a fast, accurate, and ruthless fighter who punches and kicks, much stronger than those non-blind warriors. There's no such thing as a blind person. The prince cursed and cursed. This is a heroic world battle conducted entirely by people from the real world, and the words and actions of that blind man are not like those of a blind man. Who stipulates that if a hero is blind, he must be blind. Liaoyun, the first sharpshooter at the Imperial Military Academy, is the awakened hero gene, but he is not a cripple. Yi Kong, the spiritual wizard of the Zhongzhou Heroes Association, is a person with sound limbs, but his awakened hero strategist leader, Sven, is a disabled person without arms. There is also Su Muhan, the mystical daughter of the Magic City Immortal Music, who awakens the hero as the mute Qinta fairy Sina, but she is the lead singer of the Holy Sound Orchestra. Heroes may have flaws, but not necessarily humans. Don't bring heroes into the awakened realm. The fiery man Brant in the middle clearly knows a lot, explained. Is an S.level potential hero so terrifying? The prince's lips twitched, feeling very helpless. Li Qing brushed his bowl in the red buff wilderness and glanced at the fireman huddled under the tower as he passed by the middle road. Suddenly, the hot man was frightened and took several steps back, with a ghostly expression on his face. And shout loudly in the team voice. Sword Demon, be careful, that blind man is going up. The Sword Demon, who was pressing down on the Barbarian King, suddenly trembled all over, and the sports car turned around and ran, leaving the Barbarian King on the side puzzled. At first glance on the mini-map, the guy who was blind at home actually ran to the opponent's blue buff wild area and started to brush the wild. Is this blind monk so powerful? Missed grass. Why is he even at level 7? Upon closer inspection, the Barbarian King was immediately shocked. Although I have been pinned down by the enemy line, I haven't dropped much of my sword repair. I'm only at level 4 now, why is that blind person at level 7? After finishing the local blue area, the prince never appeared, and Li Qing didn't need to squat anymore. He went back to his own wild area to start painting. 10 minutes after the start of the Hero World battle, Li Qing finished brushing his own red, blue, and wild areas and returned to the spring. Hand purple gold 3300. 5 speed shoes, bought the finished regal lamp, and then bought the Tiamat. The economy was wiped out. At this moment, the level 8 blind monk attack has reached the terrifying 238 o'clock. Among them, the killing sword has 11 layers. From now on, Li Qing announces the end of the game. A highly playful wandering blind man is 10 times more terrifying than a similarly formed Draven. Draven's main source of damage is ping A, and he does not have any teleportation life-saving skills. When encountering weapons masters such as Jake's, Swift Scout Timo, Debon Commander Zhao, with 3 seconds of ranged attack immunity after a major move, Wind Sword Hero Aso, and Dawn Ai Shun, these completely counter ping A heroes with almost no resistance. However, blind monk Li Qing does not have this flaw. Stepping out of the wilderness and heading straight down, the policewoman and Lulu retreated back to the defense tower because they were afraid of the blind monk Li Qing gank. But this cannot dispel Li Qing's killing intent. The policewoman and Lulu are both crispy and have no flashes. If we don't kill them, who will we kill? Still, Yalong touched the blue, square, and red buff area on his eyes, and bypassed the eyes of triangle grass from the red buff position to reach the stone man position. A new round of military lines has arrived, and female police officers are starting to clear the troops with the help of Q Peace Messenger. The opportunity is here. The 5 speed shoes combined with the killing sword double accelerated, and when the female police officer saw it, the blind man had already arrived behind her buttocks. 1 library. Looking for a spot to penetrate, our dragon waved its tail first and kicked the female police officer half-blooded. Along the way, it also collided with Lulu. The Q heavenly sound wave connected to the second section Q echo triggered an electrocution lightning strike, and the female police officer who was in mid-air was kicked in the face by the blind monk and instantly killed. Li Qing could even feel the twisted and unbelievable expression on the policewoman's face. Blind monk Li Qing Chaos Hen 8 kills. Legendary. Congratulations to the blind monk Li Qing for obtaining the supernatural power. Reward all attribute values with A+1 reward. Settlement will be made after the double reward ends. Then, with 2 punches and 1 kick, the 1.3-meter fairy witch was trampled to death, without paying any attention to her emotionless expression. Bully, big brother bully. Brother, you're amazing. You're amazing. You're amazing. Alista and Cold Ice shouted with red eyes, encountering such thighs was simply a godsend victory. Hurry up and go back to replenish your equipment. I'll help you clear the troops' lines first. Li Qing Tiamat's family passively and quickly cleared a wave and a half of the military line, saying to the 2 people. Yes, yes, Big Brother is powerful and domineering. I'll go back and get the equipment quickly. When the 2 of them left, Li Qing gave a pause to the defense tower. Chapter 9. Kicking the Sword Demon to death with 1 kick. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Big Brother, do you want to eat the defense tower bounty yourself? Alista saw on the small map that 3 layers of the enemy defense tower coating had fallen in the blink of an eye, and whispered to Ice Shooter Ash. "No, don't talk nonsense, it's impossible. Big Brother just helps us relieve stress." Ice Sagittarius Aishi has now become a blind monk fangirl, and when she speaks 3 times in a row. Big Brother is right in everything he does. After finishing 3 layers of tappy, calculating the time, the female police officer's resurrection has almost begun to go online. Li Qing left the defense tower and walked away from the direction of the triangle grass little dragon, then left the field of view and circled again from the blue and red buffs to the grass position of the stone man. 5.4.3 counting silently in her heart, when she reached 1, the female police officer at level 5 walked down, while the blind monk at level 9, Li Qing, showed a cruel smile. Piercing in the eye, the W Golden Bell mask punched the female police officer on the chest mountain, softening the texture, but Li Qing had no waves. Thunderbolt broke through the shot, and then Tiamat pressed to trigger the electrocution lightning strike. Immediately after, Qingtai and Yinbo followed suit. The female police officer, who was beaten by Li Qing and only had a quarter of her blood left, woke up from a dream and flew towards the tower without worrying about chest pain. But with it came a size 44 foot on the face of the female police officer. Legendary. Blind monk Li Qing has become supernatural. Seeing such terrifying harm, Lulu behind her was immediately frightened and shrunk to the title of Highland Tower. Li Qing quickly took down a tower with the newly launched Bullhead Chief and Cold Ice. How can we fight this? That blind man is too terrifying. The female police officer's face was as ashes as death, standing in the spring for a long time unable to calm down. The blind man was ruthless and his hands were black. He had his face and chest beaten several times, and even his classmate Lulu was kicked to death in the face. For women who are so cruel and ruthless, Su Feiyu's suspects that this guy may really be blind. How could he be so indifferent when he was named one of the top 10 school beauties in his first year at the Magic City Military Academy? You, stay calm and don't be influenced by your mentality. Take your time to fight. Both the sword demon and the fireman on the road have advantages. Assistant Fairy Wu Lulu comforted and said, looking at the fireman sword demon who had just completed the solo killing of the barbarian king and the card, there was still a chance of winning this game. However, before he could finish speaking, the blind monk Li Qing flew out of the blue F6 and a Q heavenly sound wave accurately hit the fireman who was returning to the city from B, and then a second Q echo hit the fireman's chest. At the moment of landing, a Geishamat instantly killed the fireman with 1/3 of his health. Perhaps there is still hope, Lulu murmured to herself. At this moment, the prince with full health at level 5 walked towards the blue zone, and EQ's second company rushed directly towards the half-blood blind monk. Dead blind, where are you running? The EQ landing prince is still 300 yards away from the blind man, and he will flash flat A and accelerate W to slow down. Instantly beat the blind man to 1/3 of his health. Fool, what you see is poor health, what you can't see is poor equipment. The world of heroes can only see the scoreboard, not the equipment board. The blind monk who once again took 3 heads has now reached the 17th level of the killing sword, with a level of 9 and a terrifying attack power of 289 points. W Section 2 Iron Cloth Shirt. Li Qing's skill is the main Q, Deputy W, first level E with our points R. The blind monk Li Qing at level 9 already has level 5 Q, level 2 W, level 1 E, and level 1 R. The level 2 W Iron Cloth Shirt will provide 9.5% life sucking for 4 seconds. Cooperating with the blind monk, he passively punched the prince in the face, followed by a provocative kick. 365 plus 35.317 plus 29 at level 5, with over 900 health points, 2/3 of the damage was dealt with just 2 punches. The terrifying damage value made the female police officer, Lulu, Huanan, and all the cards who were paying attention to the middle battlefield stare in disbelief. Wucao, what kind of damage is this? It's too scary, isn't it? Damn it, what equipment did he come up with? How could there be such terrifying damage? That's it again, this blind man is probably not just an S-level potential hero. I'm afraid he has reached an SS-level potential hero. Later, under the prince's terrified gaze, Li Qing kicked him to death. You know nothing about harm. By the way, Li Qing helped clear the pawn line for the cards and ate 2 more layers of tarps before returning to the city to update his equipment. This famous trip brought in 5 heads, 2 female police officers, 1 Lulu, 1 prince, 1 hot man, 8 layers of tower skin, 150 by 8, 225 towers under 1 blood, 450 divided by cold ice bull head, 4.5 waves of military lines, 2 wilderness areas, and a terrifying economic profit of 4,700 yuan. Indeed, abusing vegetables makes me happy. With the corners of his mouth raised, Li Qing revealed the happiest smile of his life, and his mind was filled with equipment updates. Greedy Hydra, Holy Sword, Clever Cloak. He's here, he's coming with glory. The first version of the Holy Sword is the top treasure of all physical skills and ultimate hero moves. There shouldn't be a scene where the game ends directly this time. I want to kill it. This battle may not necessarily result in 5 kills, but the person who kills the most will increase their KDA and score, and they should also receive attribute point rewards. Step out of the spring and head straight for the red buff. Just as I finished brushing it, I heard a message that Sword Demon will kill the Barbarian King alone again. The map in my mind shows that the Sword Demon is still full of blood after killing the Barbarian King. The duration of the ultimate move has not yet reached, and I am eating tappy alone. It's time to let you know the dangers of society. Running all the way behind Sword Demon burst into laughter upon seeing this. Haha, you blind person dare to come and confront me on your own. Who do you think I am? Let me suffer. The ultimate move, R, continues. The greedy boots, the ghost spirit, and the sword demon of the Caulfield Warhammer are not weak at all. They raise their hands and start Q to slay the blind monk. Holy Sword. Activate. Our raptor wags its tail. The level 11 blind monk Li Qing's level 2 ultimate move has a damage value of 400 plus, 200% physical damage. At this moment, the dragon swinging its tail with an attack power of 432 points unleashes 1264 basic damage points. Adding critical strike, 175%, damage can deal 2212 initial damage points. And this kick directly hit the head of the dark-blooded sword demon Aderx, who was slain with a great leap. Plus 20% additional damage, point 2011. Crimson critical strike damage values float from the sword demon's head. What? In the last second, the arrogant and confident dark sword demon Aderx was completely bewildered. What about me? What kind of person am I? What is the situation? Who told me what exactly happened? With just one kick, the level 8 sword demon with a record of 3/2/0 instantly disappeared, and his head exploded. What exactly is this thing? Who told me? The dark sword demon asked in a daze within the team. And the barbarian king who watched the war situation after his own death also had a black question mark on his face. What is the situation? The blind monk kicked the sword demon who had killed him 3 times with one kick and killed him. S.level potential hero. I poo. If I am still an A.level potential hero, I will be beaten as a dog by an S.level potential hero. The person who can instantly become an S.level potential hero is probably at least an SS level hero. That is an SS potential hero that can be compared to the awakened hero of the Salvation Saint Jilingxi, the son of the stars, Salaka. The most crucial Ji family is a healing auxiliary hero, while the blind is a combat hero. This man must not be provoked. Chapter 10. Killing the Inferno Yalong. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Take the sword demon's head and kindly help the barbarian king swallow 2 waves of soldiers and 2 layers of defense tower skins. Li Qing is already a fat man at this moment. Take a look at the scoreboard. At this moment, the opposite prince's economy is over 3,700 yuan, while the blind man has already obtained a staggering 11,000 yuan. There are as many as 10 heads in a person. Big brother, you're amazing. In the voice, Alista shouted loudly, with such thighs, his own steady victory. If you can double row with your thighs for a long time, you can definitely become a bronze-level powerhouse for years before graduation. Even at the silver level, there is still a certain chance to achieve it. Judging by his age, he is about the same as himself. Try making friends after the competition. Can't we push in groups? As time passed, the fireman in the middle was also kicked to death by the blind monk, assisting Lulu in saying. The blind monk's obvious move seems to be a person's flash-killing skill. As long as we unite and sacrifice one person, we may be able to gather fire and kill him. The first 2 kills were both kicked to death by the blind monk, which made the assistant think that this skill was a single-unit flash-kill skill. This. Give it a try. Give it a fight. If it doesn't work, surrender. The female police officer thought of the scene where she was hit by a flying kick and hit Lulu, but she didn't know whether to say it or not. In the end, the fireman in the middle will definitely give it a try. If he continues to fight like this, he will also die slowly. If you don't see the crown prince, he will start to mix up and not even go to the wilderness. Okay, then join the group. At this moment it was 15 minutes before the first little dragon refreshed. Li Qing went home and took out an endless set of divine costumes to gather, and ran to the dragon pit in a lively manner. Seeing the 15-meter-long red dragon lying there in the dragon pit, Li Qing was completely stunned. I'm still lying there without waking up. If I wake up, I have to be at least 25 meters away. Is this something that one person can choose on their own? The attempted Qingtai wave was thrown out. A dragon roar echoed through the red, blue, and wild areas of the lower road, as well as the middle lower road. Even the hot man Brand, who had just walked online, was startled. Damn it! Who is seeking their own way to provoke the fire dragon? As a hero of the F.Class Heroes Association for 15 years, he once drove dragons with great enthusiasm, but each time was extremely tragic. That's not something that everyone can deal with. The fire dragon breathing comes with severe burns, which will continue to lose health and reduce healing and shield effects. The dragon's attack method is even more outrageous, and you can only hit it when it leaps from the sky to attack you, and the dragon has extremely strong defense. In the information of the League of Legends, the basic attack of dragons is around 300, including 10,000 health points for fire dragons, 15,000 health points for wind dragons, 20,000 health points for water dragons, and up to 50,000 health points for earth dragons. Different dragons have different attribute effects. Fire dragon comes with severe burns, continuously losing health and reducing healing shield. The water faucet has a highly toxic slowing effect, which continuously reduces health and movement speed. The wind dragon has a high attack speed and movement speed, which is something that no one wants to face. There is also the most pitted earth dragon, which reduces physical damage by 80%, magic damage by 50%, and rebounds damage from all sources by 15%. Its health recovery speed is extremely high. The most disgusting thing is that dragons will continue to grow stronger over time. Increase all attributes by 5% per minute. Even a team with a full 5-member team and 6 divine costumes may not be able to kill a dragon. Do you want to go and take a look? The female police officer hesitated and asked. No need. My dad is a golden-level hero. They once defeated all the Earth Dragons in a 5-member team. The 4 people across from them are all in the middle line, so the blind monk probably stimulates the dragons. If we pass through the wilderness, we will be ambushed and killed by him. The dark sword demon directly denied it. The blind monk's swift kick really left a vivid impression on him. As for the 1.1 battle against Xiaolong, I never thought about this idea for a second. On the other side, the roar of the dragon came to an end, and two lantern-sized eyes looked contemptuously at the blind monk, opening their mouths and unleashing a burst of flames. Sleeping trough. What's going on? Li Qing was suddenly confused. He was 50 meters away from the fire dragon, and as soon as he threw the cue, he began to run away. However, a scorching breath hit him from a distance of 50 or 60 meters, and in an instant, Wang Kun felt that everything was not good. Golden Bell Guard. Boom. Full score hit, Li Qing was directly blown out more than 10 meters away. Stinky Lizard seeking death. The level 13 blind monk has a total of over 1600 health, and this attack only dealt over 89 health, but the Golden Bell shield is gone. The damage is still acceptable. Q Echo directly kicked the fire dragon in the face, instantly unleashing high damage. 690. The fire dragon with 10,000 blood suddenly felt pain and flipped over to throw Li Qing down. Wipe, this setting is a bit tricky. Short hand on land and long range flight. As expected by Li Qing, the fire dragon raised its height and flew to a position of 40 or 50 meters, opening its mouth and exhaling a flame. This is not scientific. League of Legends doesn't have this setting. Li Qing rolled and dodged the breath, even if it was just a brush, he still dealt over 100 health points. While avoiding the fire dragon's breath, I waited for QCD. After 8 seconds, I received 2 breaths, and QCD improved. Hiss. The fire dragon once again rallied, and Li Qing directly hit the heavenly sound wave. Let's have another burst of output. In League of Legends, the blind monk's ultimate move cannot be used against monsters, but this setting is not available in World of Legends. With new equipment and greedy boots, Li Qing's attack power has reached a terrifying 612 points. As the dragon was about to breathe, Li Qing kicked the dragon's nose directly in the second section of Q, while the holy sword was also used before. 1788. A massive damage burst out, and the fire dragon immediately howled. It's not over yet, stinky lizard. Thunder breaks. With a palm strike, strike directly at the fire dragon heavenly spirit cap. The Heavenly Thunder has a 100% physical damage bonus, and this strike deals both critical and fatal damage. 1960. The fire dragon was knocked dizzy and disoriented this time, trying its best to throw the ants on its head out. But the next moment, a breath of death made him desperately wriggle his body. The last blow. The dragon wags its tail, die for me. Lifting his right foot, his blood burst out and he fiercely kicked the head of the fire dragon with lightning speed. 400 base damage plus 1224 physical additional damage forms a terrifying 1624 base value. Add 225% critical strike bonus to Endless Blade, and 20% fatal strike to head attack. This kick is like destroying the sky and earth, unleashing damage beyond anything else. 4219. And the fire dragon also threw Li Qing off its body with crazy twisting, and its face, which was covered in fear and blood for the rest of its life after the disaster. Run. Never give this blind man a chance to attack himself again. However, he suddenly saw a faint smile at the corner of the blind monk's mouth, a sense of unease. Want to run? My punishment is not in use yet. Go to hell. 760. A white real damage number picked up from the dragon's body, causing it to scream in the sky with blood, and finally fall to the ground. The first round of exploratory Q dealt over 400 damage, the second round of Q 600 dealt over 1200 damage, and the second round of Q 400 dealt over 400 damage. The second round of Q used the Divine Sword to trigger a critical hit of 1788, resulting in a total damage of 2200. The Thunderbolt strike triggered a critical hit of 1960, and the dragon swinging tail dealt 4200 damage, resulting in a total of 1200 plus 2200 plus 2000 plus 4200 is equal to 9600 damage. Finally, 760 retribution was added, just enough to kill the fire dragon. Well, I am the Water King. Don't argue with me, I am the first in my math class in elementary school. Congratulations to the blind monk Li Qing from the red camp for killing the Inferno Yalong. All members of the red team have received 15% physical damage and magic damage bonus in this battle. Congratulations to blind monk Li Qing for obtaining a power attribute value +1 reward.